welcome to a new video in my world. It's very cold. Do you see these windows? Oh, I don't want to show you where I am right now, but you're probably gonna figure it out because of this video, like the content that I'm about to post. Okay, hello. I hope you're having a good day. It is Wednesday, hump day, whoop, midweek. It really doesn't freaking matter what day of the week it is because a homegirl here works 7 days a week. And yeah, it doesn't make a difference like what day it is because I do the same thing every day. Okay, so major groundhog. So anyway, I forgot to change the air filters, which you're supposed to change every like 15,000 miles to every 30,000 miles. And you know what? Guess where my car is right now? Like triple that. Okay, so I didn't change them the first time I was supposed to, and this is really bad because, you know, like pollution and like your nostrils. That's why I'm wearing this mask, because well, we're gonna remove the filter right now partially. Okay, so you know, you could go do this and like get it serviced at a dealership, but you know what? The dealership is very expensive, and obviously like I constantly go to the dealership because, well, I have a brand new car that I have overdriven already for the mileage, and it's just like working like a freaking old ass car now. Okay. So anyway, air filters, the cabin air filter, we're gonna change that today, and this is for the well-being of my passengers when they're in the car, and you know, they're like, okay, turn on the AC or the heater, and yeah, so it's not smelly in here when you know, that stuff is dusty. Okay, nobody likes dust. That's why I got this N95 mask on right now. Okay, so I'm gonna show y'all how we're gonna remove this damn filter myself right now, instead of going to the dealership and waiting like a few hours and paying probably like triple the price what it's gonna be. It's probably a lot of better quality if I like go to the dealership, but you know what, I don't got time, I don't got the money actually for quality right now, so we're just gonna go AutoZone. All right, I'll be right back. Listen, check out my fuzzy socks. Yeah, it's really cold. Okay, so here is the glove compartment. It's super dusty, as you can tell on the sides and stuff. Yeah, because it's long overdue. Okay. So, whoop. Ta-da! Okay, here's the air filter cabin. Okay, we're gonna go buy a new filter and then remove this stuff, and I will show you how dusty this is. Okay, so first of all, I got a little handy dandy terry cloth because it's gonna be really dusty when I take this out, and I have my mask on too because I don't want all that stuff going into my nostrils. So it has this cover on top, and there's 3 clips right here on the bottom, which you're gonna have to pull down a bit. Try not to break it. It's plastic. That's to hold it on there. And there's gonna be a little handle on the side also of this. It's difficult to see it, but you just gotta like push it up. So first, you gotta remove these bottom 3, lift it up a little bit, and then you're gonna have to push it up to make this come off. Obviously, I already took it off, so easy peasy, right, as I showed you, but it's not that easy to take it off. Be careful. This is the filter. This comes out really easy. You're gonna be disgusted. This is what a dirty one looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna show you what a clean one looks like because we're about to go buy one. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright guys, so here is the new filter we're gonna put in there. Alright, so this is pretty like stupid proof, you know. There's arrows to tell you how to put it in. Alright, so you just gonna slide that in there. Okay, great. Okay, now let's put the cover back on. Alright. make sure it's in there, secured. Okay, we gotta make sure this handle thing goes back into where it was. All right, there you have it, folks. Nice and secured. Okay, so just a word of advice, be very careful when you're closing this part. I just basically like completely destroyed it, but I fixed it. I fixed that. Okay, so it's still in place. There's a centerpiece that keeps this, okay. Then we're just gonna go ahead and seal that. And it's nice and dandy now. Now it actually flows smoothly. When I closed it the first time, it was not closing well. Okay, so that's that, y'all. I'll put this filter in this bag, and I gotta go replace another filter for my engine. God, that's so disgusting. Anyway, I hope that helped you, girls out there that don't want to get ripped off at dealerships, and you're kind of got that do-it-yourself type of thing. Okay, well, now I'm gonna have some breakfast, just a bar. Yeah, I hate saying I honestly think I fractured my thumb, like, just changing that filter. My 2016 VW, it had the filter in a different placement, so this was completely new. But, you know, I saved some money, because I'm pretty sure if I would have gone to the actual dealership, I probably would have paid, like, I don't know, $50-$70 for somebody else to do it, and it was going to take, like, an hour or two. Like, people just, like, either wasting my time or they're too busy, one or the other. Either way, I fixed it. So there you have it. If you want like a more budget friendly way of changing your filter, if you have a GTI, that's the place to find them. If not, you could just order the part to your house. I just go to the shop instead because yeah, my situation is not very. Alright, y'all, so like this video is getting cut into different increments because I'm just condensing this into one video, you know, with things that are like as life is going. So I had an inconvenience after I just showed you how to change my filter for the car, the cabin filter. I also changed the air filter for the actual engine, but you know what? The car just ended up having additional problems that are linked to my actual powering of the vehicle, which is, I mean, I don't think it's entirely my fault, but you know, I'll leave that for the claims department. Okay, so I actually hurt myself when I changed the cabin filter. And you know, having a manual transmission, this is just kind of an additional inconvenience for me. Like, I'm breaking apart, I'm in my mid-20s, this can't be live. Okay, so that brings me to my other point, because either the system is failing me, like some police officers like to use that language. I don't know if that's just because none of us really understand like what system we're living in entirely, and you know, just the fact that there's homeless people, or we don't want to blame anybody for the unfortunate events that anybody is going through. I mean, when I'm saying this, these words came out of this police officer's mouth whom I spoke with, because yes, that's true, the system is failing people, but we are also failing ourselves in not educating ourselves with the system, or you know, thinking like we're supposed to be living this structured life. I think partially Hollywood is to blame for this, because in movies, you know, you see like, okay, first of all, before you even watch a movie, like, I just want you to realize that all of this looks like perfection because it's all in a setting, and there's like take 1, take 2, take 3. Okay, we don't live our lives like that. Okay, we don't have some director telling us this is take one, take two, okay? There's only take one in your actual life. In the past, when I've said that your life is a movie, I meant it in the sense that you have this life and you need to create the life that you are trying to live. And unfortunately, most of us, we have to work or find like independent contracting work or self-employment or create systems that work for people, just like people who own a franchise. Like, those are systems, and then they have employees that work the systems, okay? And I'm not gonna go into the freaking quadrants of this stuff, okay? But I've experienced the system failing me recently, and partially me failing the system too, because I had called to get health coverage, okay? Because, well, after a certain age, in your mid-20s, you have to get health coverage, right? And I mean, I've had health coverage like when I'm in school, when I'm in college, and right now I'm obviously not in regular college. Like, I'm trying to get the certification, but honestly, it's not going well. I've already lost interest in it. I know I have to pay, and I don't have the funds to pay for the exam I need to take, so I'm like demotivated. Just the fact that even though that should be pushing me more to be motivated, but I have so much other stuff to pay for that I'm like, how do you expect me to just put this aside when as soon as it comes in, it goes out to something else that I'm doing? Which is gonna bring me to like the other point I'm about to make after this video, or after I finish off with this point, okay? But I hurt my finger, so I'm looking up in my emails to log into my account because I applied for Covered California because I didn't qualify for Medicare or Medi-Cal. I don't know which one it is. Some is for young people, some is for old people. I forgot the terminology, and this was like totally told to me when I took a government class in college. Yeah, I found the sheet where I was like writing the definitions of it, so this is how I remember. And just the fact that I keep getting told, like, you need to file, like, Medi-Cal and get insurance. And I'm like, okay, I'm trying. And even in, like, my Uber app, it shows, like, health insurance on the Uber app shows as optional, which is incorrect, okay? Like, health insurance should not be optional. It should be, like, I don't want to say mandatory because that just puts additional stress on people. Like, this is why I'm stressing out right now too. And at least from seeing how the healthcare system is in Canada, healthcare for all, that must be really expensive for a country, but it makes sense, like if you have healthy people that are taken care of, like when they need medical attention, you're not asking for like, oh, it's $700 just for a consultation. Okay, well, I don't have $700 to pay for a consultation, but I need you so I can get cured and go back to work. Like, it just makes sense, right? Like, if you make this person healthy, then they can get better, hopefully, and then they can be employed again, or like go be self-sustainable instead of like feeling like we're burdens or like we're depressed because our ability of existing in life and being something or doing something is completely stripped away from your reality, okay? So I'm like struggling with my finger. I don't know if I sprained it when I changed this filter. I don't know if my bones are just hurting. Like, I don't know, but I'm not okay. Okay, this finger is not okay. Does it look swollen to you? I don't know. So I would look through my emails to see if this insurance is there, and I'm looking for my username and stuff, and I'm like, okay, so I don't even have a doctor. Like, who am I gonna call? Turns out I called Kaiser. Okay, there is no account under my name. Like, I am non-existent in their file, and I'm like, I'm sorry? Like, what do you mean? I literally just called 2 weeks ago to get this insurance. Even though I know I'm like struggling and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna need insurance. I'm gonna need some coverage. And I was trying to see, maybe if I could get this checked up, because I don't know if this is broken, but certainly the rest of my arm is hurting today. So something is not right over here. And the fact that my car, I mean, I can't drive it right now because I just told you what's wrong. Like, everything is falling apart in my life, okay? I don't want this. I want everything to be together. I want everything to just flow steadily. And not be this chaotic, okay? But basically, there's something wrong with what happened with my insurance through Covered California. I don't know if the person no, they definitely submitted the application because I got the email. The fact that it doesn't show in their system, that's kind of concerning, and I don't really know what to do at this point. Okay, but yeah, this is the result of a finger. I don't have medical insurance right now, so I can't go get this checked. And this is another thing that I was just listening to, this book called The Lemon Life. Maybe I'll add like a screenshot on here or something, if I can edit this video that nicely and structured. This book talks about caught my attention because I feel like I'm these three characters in my life right now, okay? They mentioned the excuser, I think they said it was a secure settler, and then the change chaser. Okay, so I feel like all of these three people have gone into my reality of just pursuing a bachelor's degree, and I think I just think too much. I've been told that by a lot of people, actually, even people who I've worked for previously. Like, the lady whom I used to clean her Airbnb told me this. She was like, I think you just think too much. Okay, like, you just gotta do. But I don't know, over analytical, probably why I'm wearing green. And if you understand that reference, it's like World Ventures training stuff from their events, okay? The excuser is like that person who makes the excuses, who doesn't want to get in the game of just going ahead and doing things. And I'm not that person, but I am in the excuser in the sense that since I don't really know what I want to go into, and I left that, now that I look at it, when I chose the degree, it was like, oh, I could just go into like any industry and like work this stuff. But I'm like, you know what, most of the services that are around me that are like what we use in our day-to-day existence, like, I don't like any of them, which is like goes back to the reality that I think it's like 70 to 80% of the people that have jobs like hate their jobs. They just show up because I'm passionate about not starving, okay? Yeah, that's the reality, but most of us are not going to go into an area and be like, hey, yeah, I just want a job because I have to pay for stuff. And even then, just chasing the compensation part, like, you can make money in a lot of different areas, so that's not really the main focus that should be, right? I keep telling myself that. Then we have the settlers, which is like what they described in this Lemon Life book. That is the person that, you see on Instagram, and they have like the perfect family and like the perfect mortgaged home. And why am I saying that in that tone? Jesus Christ. And they just have been working the same job for their entire lives, and they've gone up the corporate ladder, and life just seems like so great. And that's not really the reality, because for those people, the settlers, they are not the risk taker type, right? They're the goody-goody that are like, don't want to make the mistake. So they have good aspects though, because they're a lot more probably disciplined, and since they don't want to take risk, well, they're like the secured bag, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is more settled stability for sure, which makes sense. But if you want something that is more, I wouldn't say entrepreneurial, because I feel like what I'm living right now is more entrepreneurial, and I'm not really feeling it. Even though I also structured it with like the settlers mentality, in the way of structure and discipline, because yes, like discipline is just what, and the consistency, it's what makes things work and show more of a fixed structure rather than a variable, where I feel like when you're an entrepreneur, like, or what they labeled as the third character, the change chaser, it's more of a variable type of feeling where it's not fixed. There's a lot of lucrative structure, actually not much structure, because it's so lucrative, which is essentially what I face with rideshare when my car is not working. Okay, and I really don't like this aspect of it, so I think I'm more like a settler, and I'm stuck as the excuser because there isn't somewhere else to move to where I can feel like I'm going to be satisfied. Like, the fact that this job is so freeing, of like you can go anywhere and it's that full of demand from people in different locations, it just feeds that need of the travel. But I'm like, you know what, if I was a settler and I just like structured my life, then I could go vacation like at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year, maybe mid-year, I don't know. It just takes time and patience, and this specifically has made me more of an immediate gratifying person rather than a delayed gratified person, which I used to be, which is what I don't like about myself now. Okay, and this also has to do with the instant pay structure, because we're so used to like bi-weekly or salary like monthly. Yeah, complete human change of behavior here that I'm experiencing, okay? And it's just, I don't even know what to think about this anymore, guys. But that was a major lesson for me, listening to the Lemonade Life, and just having a plan A, but also having a plan B. And I actually talked to this with one of my passengers I just had, how, you know, sometimes when you stick to plan A, like, it's really good to stick to plan A because it shows commitment and it shows that you believe in that plan A. But sometimes when you're so much pushing plan A to the point, you know, sometimes you just gotta like cut whatever you're doing and put a stop to it, because it's time to transition to plan B. And it's so uncomfortable going into a plan B after that, because you put so much time into something. And you know, even myself, although I'm like that person that's like a change chaser, I don't like the instability that comes with change, because it's a transitioning period where it's unstable. At least that's what it feels like for me right now. And I don't like it. I don't like instability. I like security. I like stability. I like feeling like I know what's gonna happen tomorrow and today, and predicting my stuff. Like, this is why my calendars, I always, like, when I was first in college, you know, I try to plan like whatever needed to be done. That way I could see what's available in my day and what makes sense, because you don't want to overbook yourself either. And this is exactly what I've done. I have avoided so much. This is how emotional damage starts infesting the rest of your life. Because when you don't face the things that are damaging you in other aspects, in my case, emotional stuff, you try to cover it up with overdoing too much work in other areas and just keeping yourself busy. Like, keeping yourself busy is great and keeps you productive, but it's also not that great when you're avoiding stuff. And I mean, I don't want to say manifestation here, but definitely I see how my health is deteriorating from a lot of the things that I'm going through. And even now that I'm kind of like have more family support in some sense, because sometimes it feels like it and sometimes it doesn't feel like it, just in my living dynamic right now. I feel very uncomfortable having support, but I like it. Like, I want that support, but I'm conflicted. Okay. But you know, the system is not just failing like the people that are like full on the street as like, and I'm referring to this because this happened with the story of my phone getting stolen. But I feel like I don't feel like I'm victimizing myself right now, but I definitely don't understand because I'm still doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm still not there. I don't have this coverage, and my car just broke, so now I'm like, okay, well, I need to transition to something else. And even when I was going into like the nutritional and the personal training stuff, I'm like, this doesn't feel like it's gonna bring me joy. Like, I like eating. This is nutritional as I'm getting. Other than that, you know, I don't know. Like, I feel like when I put it into perspective of actually the career aspect of things, because you would think, you know, like, oh, if you like food that much, then yeah, the nutritional coaching stuff would make sense. And then, or maybe like becoming a chef or like working in restaurants, like that would make sense, right? But I don't know what it is about me, and this is a scary point of my life because, yeah, the older I get, I'm like, I don't see how any of this is gonna get me closer to retirement. I don't see how any of this is a structure for having that security when you get to the end of your life, like when you are elderly and you don't have the same capabilities that you used to when you were younger, and even now experiencing these like minor inconveniences like my thumb, whatever's going on here, and my body aching, my back that was already part of the problem, why like I was going through these struggles when I was trying to go into the service. Like, my life just doesn't make sense. I try to make it easier for myself because, yeah, ride sharing, you know, physically it doesn't require a whole lot, so it makes me happy. But the planning that goes into rentals and having to go from places, I don't know. I think in that sense I've become a little bit lazy, but at the same time I don't think so, because I'm driven to do more. So hopefully that conversation kind of gives you a perspective of, I don't think we play a role for one specific role, and I'm referring to those three characters, the excuser, the settler, and the change chaser, because all of those three characters have gone into the decision making of even going to school to get a bachelor's degree, or like trying to get the bachelor's degree, right? Because we're still in the process of that, right? The change chaser was that when you make a choice in a career, and then the settler, it's like when you expect to get a career out of the degree, and then the excuser is like when you start getting closer to your end of your life, or you don't want to take too many risks because it's scary taking risks. You know, even as the change chaser, you have like this thrill that comes attached to it, but you're constantly also having to borrow. And even when you go to school, you're still borrowing money to go chase a dream of becoming somebody in the future. You see this craziness of a system we're in? I don't understand it. Like, does anybody understand it? Like, does anybody else think these things, or is this just me? I don't know, but I'm very pensive at the moment, and I'm gonna go ahead and end this now. Hopefully that leaves you with something to think about, and feel free to leave a comment below if you may. Like and subscribe to this video. I really don't know where we're going with this. There's thousands of YouTubers that you can connect to, and you know, we all have Although, if you bring in the differences of incomes, we all have the same life. Like, we're all getting up every day to go chase something. And that is as much relatability as I can address to you people that watch these videos. We're all getting up to do something every day. That just reminds me of that book, Man's Search for Meaning. I mean, they forgot to add on the title, Woman's Search for Meaning, because I don't know what the meaning of my existence is supposed to be. I'm just like a grain of sand, a little tiny speck in this huge universe we call the world. Or the universe in general. But we're definitely just in this little tiny world. Not so tiny, actually. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Please like and subscribe the video. I don't know if we're gonna get to thousands and millions of subscribers eventually, because that also seems like a full-time job. It really is. Anything that we put our time into. This is probably how I ended up like a full-time driver for Uber and Lyft and recruiting and referrals and whatnot. You know, I really don't want to be that person that goes into the next opportunity, but going back to the settlers, it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be really hard, but I need that stability in my life. And I don't know where the market is going, like financially. There's like a recession going on, people filing bankruptcy. I personally don't know what the hell to do with my car right now, because it, as I said, it's the source of income, but it's also leaving me in despair. I'm not laughing, really. This is not a laughing matter at all. I don't know why I have this mind of mine. I try to stay positive when I should really be freaking out right now. I know I'm freaking out. I just, you know, I think the hope just leaves me with, you're gonna figure it out. So let's hope I figure it out pretty soon, guys. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Wish me well. Obviously, health insurance is not really working, so hopefully my finger gets better. And if you watched, you know, the beginning of all of this, then you saw how the filter was changed, and maybe that'll save you like, I don't know, $10 to $20 of the service that you don't need to take your car to at a dealership. Yeah, okay. So see you guys on the next video. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, so thank you to those who have served in this country and have allowed us to have freedom and the home of the brave. I've always wondered why we say home of the brave. Like, why? Well, yeah, actually, there's a lot of ridiculous things that people have to do when they leave serving that risk their lives. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Okay, have a great weekend. I'll see y'all on the road as I find more rental vehicles that actually qualify for rideshare for me to continue working and maintaining these streams of income. If y'all have any suggestions on additional streams of incomes, let me know. I've recently reached out to Patrick Kenny because I know that man is a mastermind of intelligence. So I'm hoping that maybe he has some answers for me on how I may generate additional income and not completely end up in the hole. Okay?